Yeah, hi, welcome back. So yesterday we have completed demo session and today we will start with our session one. So yesterday, a small recap, we discussed DevOps, what is the DevOps process, what is the difference between waterfall versus agile and versus DevOps. So we know a simple process change can give us the best results, and in DevOps, the process is continuously getting improved. So we are adding tools to reduce the manual work and errors. So that is what we discussed yesterday. And today we will start with our Linux sessions. If you have seen our Linux sessions in YouTube, then it is optional for you. Okay, but anyhow, let us start with the Linux. Okay. So Linux is a popular operating system now. So 96.4% of the world servers are in Linux. Okay. So this Linux is started actually in 1980s, 90s, and in early 2000s, it got popularity. Okay, so before we go for Linux, so let us understand what is server itself. Okay, so server is an electronic device which has the below characteristics: OS, RAM, CPU, processor, and then hard disk. So these four characteristics, if any electronic component is have, then we can call it as a server, computer, laptop, mobile. So we have laptops and desktops, and we have mobiles, we have servers, we have television. So all these electronic devices have these characteristics. That is operating system, RAM, CPU, and processor, hard disk. So before buying any mobile also, so we will check all these four things. What is the operating system of it, either Android or Mac, or how much RAM it has, either 12 GB, 6 GB, 8 GB, and then what is the processor, whether it is Snapdragon processor or not, and how much storage it has, 128 or 256, 512. So we will check all these things because these are the electronic component, I mean, which has some computation power. Okay. So computation power comes from these characteristics. Okay. So these are the four things you should remember for any electronic device have. So nowadays TVs are also becoming very smart. It has the operating system, it has the RAM, it has everything. Similarly, like refrigerators, so everything becoming very smart nowadays. And we know something called Raspberry Pi. So that is like chip level computers. Okay. So this is like ATM card size. So this is also a computer. So we will keep it in a sensor world. Whenever you want to calculate something like weather or humidity, so you will keep it. It has the RAM, it has the hard disk, it has the outlet. This one you can see here. You can plug in HDMI, everything. So this is a ATM card size computer. So you can say any device which has these things are called as computer, server, whatever it is. But based on the usage, you will call it different names. So you will serve internet, and then you will play games and watch movies, shopping, so etc. So you do these things in this laptop. But in mobile also you do the same thing nowadays, like you chat, you call. So you use mobile for a lot of things, photos. So now mobile is everything nowadays. But server has a different purpose. Server has a different purpose, only one purpose. So that is to host the application. Okay. So we don't log into the server, we don't chat, we don't use it for calls, we don't use it for photos, we don't use it for to watch the games, to watch the movies, we don't do it for shopping. So server is a little bit different. You only use it for the hosting of application. Okay. So TV, you can have multiple things like watching shows, and in TVs also you can do the shopping also, etc. Right? So ideally, you can do anything in all these four components. You can host the application in your mobile and it can be accessed over internet. You can host the application in your laptop and it can be accessed over the internet. But the purpose is not designed for this. The laptop is designed for all these things, but only server is designed only to host the application. Okay, you don't do any other things in this server. So that is why we call it as server. Ideally, you can do anything in all these four. Okay, so this is our common sense. Which device to use it, what for? Okay, that's all. Nothing difference. Okay, so if you understand properly, so you can do anything in all these four devices. So this is about the laptop or computer or mobile or server. So in it, operating system is very important here. So in your laptop, you don't use any Linux kind of operating system because you are like a user. You are not a software engineer. You wanted something like graphical user interfaces in laptop, mobile, and TV. So in server, you are not doing anything like internet calls, photos. So you need some powerful things. So server has some more powerful OS, more RAM, more CPU, and then more hard disk. Okay, because it will be accessed across the internet. Lot of users, like thousands and millions of users, can access this application. So we need some powerful specifications for this server. Okay, so that is the only difference. Now let us discuss the operating system architecture. So this session may be a little bit theoretical for maybe around 45 minutes, and later we can enter into the Linux commands. Okay, so if you see operating system architecture, why it is designed. So as I said, we have these four hardware. So these are called as hardware. These three are hardware. So a normal user or any software engineer cannot directly interact with CPU or processor or hard disk. So we need something called operating system that can interact with hardware. Okay, so this is the hardware, CPU, memory, and other RAM, all those things. So a normal user cannot interact with it. So we need definitely an operating system that can interact with the underlying hardware. Okay, so on top of this, you will install applications like VLC Media Player, Google Chrome we are using now. So this Google Chrome contact the operating system, and operating system contact the underlying hardware. So that is the architecture of any operating system, not only Windows, Linux, or anything. Okay, so that is first application will contact operating system, and then it will contact hardware. Okay. So this is the high level architecture of the any operating system. Okay. So then why Linux is started? So before Linux, suppose few of the servers are there in Windows also. If you compare Windows versus Linux, what is the difference is, for any operating system as a client, or for example, if I am the client paying to you, I want less cost, more performance. So generally while buying the mobiles also, you will calculate these things. You want less cost, more performance, more stability, and free. So OS should be free. So these are the things you need, and security as well. So these are the 5 parameters you will understand while buying any mobile or any electronic device. So that is how, so like this, let us calculate the Windows versus Linux. Okay. So obviously Windows is not free. So Linux is free. Performance. Windows has lot of graphics here. If you see here, so all these things are graphics. So if you have more graphics, to process that graphics, you need obviously more memory. Okay, more CPU. If you just check, if you nowadays, if you open any Windows operating system, so by default it is consuming 50% of the memory, even if you don't use it anything. Okay, so now my laptop is 32 GB RAM. You can see 25% of it. It means like 8 GB RAM is already consumed with a simple browser and 1 or 2 applications in the background. Why this much memory is getting consumed? It is because of more graphics. So Windows has more graphics than Linux. So if you use Windows to the server operating system, then obviously it will consume a lot of memory for the OS itself. So resource utilization is very much high in the Linux. Okay, I mean resource optimization. So Linux resource optimization is very good. So in Linux server, everything is text. Everything is text. There is no graphics because we don't want graphics. So that is why it is very fast, more performance and more stability. For example, if you don't open your Windows laptop continuously for 1 week, after 1 week, if you try to log in, it will be stuck for few minutes. You cannot do anything. So you are forced to restart your Windows operating system. So because it is not stable, but Linux is highly stable. You can leave it for years. You can leave it for years. It will give you the same performance. You no need to restart. But Windows is not like that. You need to restart it daily for the better performance. And obviously it is free OS and secure. So it follows the Unix principle. So it is by default secure. So Linux has these many advantages. So that is why. So even supercomputers also using the same Linux operating system. What is the OS used by supercomputers? If you just type it, then obviously they say Linux operating system. Okay. So not only supercomputers, there will be upcoming quantum computers. They also must use Linux operating system for fast performance on all the advantages. Okay. If you are working as not only DevOps engineer, any software engineer in the IT world, it is very good to have the Linux skill in their profile. Even you are working as a developer or any other WebSphere or JBoss, WebLogic or tester. So whatever you are, so keeping Linux understanding in your profile is very much advantage for your profile. So how Linux is started now? So when it is started, how it is started, a simple story. So there is a guy called Linus Torvalds. So he is working in Unix team. And Unix has some different disadvantage. That is like Unix and Mac OS, they are hardware locked. Okay. So, we cannot install Mac OS in our Dell laptops, HP laptops, because Mac OS is locked with their own hardware. So you need to buy hardware plus hardware, or it means like laptop or server. You need to buy hardware plus operating system both. Okay, it is completely locked with the underlying hardware. So you cannot install Mac operating system in your normal laptops. So because it is locked. So this guy Linus Torvalds is working in the Unix team, and Unix server was very popular at that time. All the companies in the world were using Unix servers, and then so their cost is very high. And he bought a laptop. So you don't know what is the operating system to use. At that time, there is like IBM DOS. So IBM DOS, that is just like your MS DOS. So this was the laptop operating system at that time. Okay. So just like, yeah, this one. So there are no graphics. You need to work like a server guy. Okay. So our MS DOS, right? Same. It will have some blue screen. And a normal user cannot work with this, and it is not free as well. Okay. So like this, you will get it. Like this blue screen. So he was thinking, why can't we have the open source OS, like a free OS? Why should I install either Mac or Unix in my laptop, because it is hardware locked? So then he developed Linux OS from scratch, same as Unix. So it is mostly same as Unix, but the code he didn't copy from it. He developed it from the scratch using C language. Okay, and then he released it to the community. As a open source. Open source. We call Linux as a kernel, not operating system. We will understand what is kernel now. Okay, so any OS, it has some components. So that is like OS components. If you want to understand, inside OS there will be kernel, shell, and some utilities. Okay, so these are these are the OS components. You can say kernel is like heart of the OS, and shell, you know already. We have PowerShell and Linux shell in our operating system, and utilities are nothing but some packages. So he released this kernel to the open source. He released the entire code to the open source. This is like heart of OS. So on top of it, we have, so you know, there are a lot of Linux operating system distributions, flavors. Generally, we call it as Linux flavor or distributions. So he released the kernel to the open source. And few companies, they will have some shell and some utilities, and they release it as a distribution. Okay. So like this, we have a lot of popular distributions, that is like Ubuntu, CentOS, and Fedora, and RHEL, SUSE. Okay. And Arch Linux. So we have a lot of distributions, but all the distributions, the kernel is same, that is Linux kernel. So few commands may be different. Other than that, the architecture, the kernel, everything is same. Okay. So RHEL is not like, is a like enterprise OS. Okay. So enterprise OS is nothing but RHEL code is open source. So all these operating systems, entire code is open source. You can take the code and you can rename it, and then you can release it as your own OS. Okay. For example, I can take this code. I can release it as Sivakumar OS, the Sivakumar distribution. Okay. So Linux is completely open. Anybody can take the open source code. If you want, you can change it something if you are aware of it. Otherwise, you can rename it as your own code, and then you can release it to the world. So, but what is the difference between the enterprise OS and these are all like community OS? Community operating system and enterprise operating system. Enterprise operating system, you will get the support. Okay. For example, if you are facing a severe problem in the operating system, you are not understanding what to do. So then you can immediately contact Red Hat team, and they will come in within hours. They will solve the error. They will solve the problem. But here, don't get that kind of support. You need to find for the solutions in the internet community. Okay. So because a lot of guys are opening this or using this OS in the world, maybe they have faced the similar problem and they will post the solutions in the community. So that is how you have to find the solutions. Sorry. So generally, financial companies, they use Red Hat Enterprise Linux because they want some support. They cannot afford the downtime. So if a bank is down for 1 hour, millions of transactions will be stopped. Customers may choose another bank, so they lose the business. So they don't afford to lose the business. That's why they go for RHEL Enterprise OS. Okay. So RHEL is a commercial, and CentOS, these both are 100% same, and Fedora and AWS Linux. Okay. So all these are the same. Okay. So we are going to use either CentOS or AWS Linux in our complete DevOps sessions because we don't want obviously any support. We are learning. So it is 100% same, the features, everything. Only difference is you will not get the support. So you don't worry in your projects if they are using Ubuntu, you don't worry because 99.9% same, simple change in the command is only there. Okay. For example, in one OS, you you have a command to create the user, create user you want to create. And in one OS, it is like add user. In another OS, it is like user add. Okay. So if you want to install some packages, it is M in CentOS and it is apt get in Ubuntu. So that's it. A simple command change is there, 99.9% same, but because RHEL is the enterprise, many companies are using. So that is why we are going to use these popular server operating system. Ubuntu is also popular, even it has the desktop versions of the Linux. You can install Ubuntu desktop in your laptop. Okay, so that is completely free. So this is about the flavors and distributions, okay, in our Linux world. So this is kernel is the heart of the OS. This is the same Linux kernel is same for each and everything. Okay. So this is about the OS. So Linux world, everything is a command and the text. Okay. So now let us understand what is the how we connect to Linux server. So Windows laptop, you will just switch on and then you will give your username and password. Then you can log in, or you can give your fingerprint, you can log in. Okay. So what are the authentication mechanisms, authentication and authorization mechanisms in this world? Something what you know and what you have and what you want. So these are the authentication mechanisms. What you know is nothing but password. So you know password 8 to 20 characters limit. Okay, that is the password. And what you have is nothing but RSA keys, tokens, etc. What you are is nothing but your fingerprints and your palm print, retina, etc. Okay. So you know RSA key. Many persons are using in the companies. So we know this one. Many persons are just keeping this with their ID cards because this gives the one-time password every 30 seconds. This is nothing but what you have. So this device, you will have it. So what you know is the weakest authentication mechanism because any person can easily see your password and they can remember it. What you have is little bit secure because these things will continuously change. Okay, what you are fingerprints is more secure because it is completely with you. You no need to remember, and you can easily any your fingerprints and your palms cannot be snatched. So that is why what you are is more secure. But our in our Linux, we have the servers like you. The server may be in US, the server may be in Mumbai. So we cannot pass the fingerprints to the server still now. I mean, at least now. Maybe in future we will get this passing the fingerprints to the server. Okay, but right now it is not there. Right now the secure mechanism in Linux servers or anywhere it is. So what you have, either the RSA key or tokens, etc. So that is why public key and private key mechanism is there in Linux servers. Okay. So what is this public key and private key? So let us understand a simple scenario. So there is a box, physical box here, and generally you will lock it. So you know the box location, you are seeing it, you are seeing the lock is also there, but can you open it? So no, you cannot open it. So you should have the key. So this IP address and this lock is public, but this is private. So everybody cannot have the key. Whoever is authorized, then they only have this key. So this is private key. This is public key. So this is public key. And this is the box. So this is how it is secured. So you know the box location, you know there is a lock, but you cannot open it unless you are the authorized person with private key. So similarly, there will be a Linux server. So generally we call Linux server also as box, server, node. You can call it with anything. So this you can call it as Linux box, Linux server, Linux node. For example, I know the IP address of facebook.com. Okay, just like you know the location of the box. You know the IP address of Facebook, and you can get the public key of the Facebook also from the internet. Okay, but who can open it? So someone only can open the Facebook engineers because they have the private key. So they can only open it. Okay. So being in the software world, you can understand the IP address of any server. You can know you can get their public key from the internet because Facebook itself can publish the key, public key, but you cannot open it unless you have the private key. So this is how the servers are secured. So private keys are with the persons who are authorized. So what I mean to say here is just like in this physical box, lock and key, you will also generate the public key and private key, and you will keep the public key inside the server, and then whoever has private key, they can open. Okay. So how to generate that public key and private key pair? So that is SSH hyphen keygen hyphen F, the file name you want, and file name. So if you give like this, it will generate two files. One is public key and the other one is private key. Okay. So you will keep the public key inside the server. You should not keep the private key. You should only keep the public key inside the server. Okay. And private key, you will give it to the person whoever wants to access it securely. Okay. So Linux servers are open, can be connected with secure shell protocol. Okay. So any protocol, you need to give the protocol name and then port number and username, either password or private key. Okay. For example, if I open facebook.com here, you can understand this one. Let us copy this. So this is nothing but 443 protocol port number. So this is the protocol HTTPS, and facebook.com will give you the IP address. Sorry, you need to mention here IP address also. Okay. Protocol, port number, IP address, and then username, password or private key. So here protocol is HTTPS. So by default in background, it will use 443 because it's the default. And then facebook.com is the IP address. And you will getting the username and password. So you are giving the username and password. So then you will get limited access to the Facebook. You will not get the admin access to the Facebook server. You will only get the access to your data from the Facebook server. Okay, but SSH we used to connect to the directly to the Linux server. You will get the more access. Like you are the Facebook employee, then you will get the SSH access. So we have some popular ports that is like HTTP, that is port number 80, and MySQL, that is 3306, and HTTPS 443, and then DNS port number 53, and SMTP 25. So we have many popular ports. Okay. And we know Tomcat, it opens port number 8080 generally. Jenkins also, it opens port number 8080. So these are the default ports. Okay. So like that, SSH also use port number 22 in the background. So now let us generate this public key and private key, and then we will upload the public key to the server. Okay. And then we will have the private key with us and we will log into the server. Okay. So how you generate is, so all of you please install this software called Git Bash. Okay. So you can download it and then you can just install with next clicks. Okay. Just like VLC media player, you can download and install. So once you install, you will get like this Git Bash. Okay, so you can use Windows command prompt also, but while you are working with Linux servers, Git Bash is more flexible. So now the command is ssh hyphen keygen. Okay, ssh key generation hyphen f. You have to give the file name. So I'm going to give the file name as DevOps. Okay, just enter it. No need to enter. No need to give any passphrase. Okay. So now you have two files, for example. So where it is, it will be inside your user directory, C disk, and then here you have users and user. So here there will be two keys, DevOps and DevOps.pub. So this is the public key and this is the private key. Generally, we will name it as PEM. Okay. PEM is the private key, pub is the public key. So if you open it, so this is the format of the public key, SSH, RSA, and some random code and your laptop name. Okay. So this is the public key. Private key will look like this one. So this is the private key. This is the public key. So now if you create any Linux server, you will upload this one. Okay. And then you will keep it with you. So now let us create Linux server. Okay. So all of you should have the cloud account. Okay. So it's very easy to create the cloud account. Just give your just give your email address and then some name that is unique in the AWS, and verify. You will get a code, and then when you proceed, so you need to give your debit card or credit card. Okay, so prefer anyhow debit card. Credit card is also not a problem. So remember, AWS will not charge even a single rupee without usage. So it says 1 year free trial is there. Okay, but it is not free for everything. Okay, limited access. You can create only one CPU server. So we will anyhow discuss what is the free trial limit. Okay. So whatever the debit card and credit card is registered with, you need to use the same name and same address. Otherwise, you will get the errors. For example, if you are using your friend's debit card or your father's debit card, just give the full name also, same as registered with the card. Okay. And address also same as banking address. So if you don't give like this, AWS or any cloud account nowadays, they are verifying the basic details, whether you are using your card or the address is same or not. So if you don't give, if these give details are wrong, then you will face a lot of errors while creating the cloud account. Okay. So this Creating cloud account is very simple, just like you are signing up with any facebook.com or any purchases in e-commerce. Okay, so it is highly recommended. It's mandatory for our course as well, because when you are learning AWS, you must have the cloud account. Okay, so now we have one cloud. So when you log in, you will get like this. Okay, so EC2, first thing, EC2 is the where you create the servers. You can just search here. Whenever you log in, you can just search here EC2. So this is where you will create the servers. Okay. So first thing here, what we do is, first step is create a firewall. Okay. So generally in AWS, we call it as security group. So don't worry about this security group. Anyhow, I will discuss while while learning cloud related concepts. Okay. It is just like firewall. Why we construct walls to our house? Because to keep our house secure from unnecessary persons. Okay. So similarly, servers also have firewalls. Here you can see security group. Here create one security group. Okay. So name it as allow all. Okay. Let me delete it. I already have it, I think. Okay. So let me create one more. So keep it as allow all or anything. Name it as allow all one. So I'm writing description. This is for the practice. So allowing all ports, but for production, you should not do this. Okay, we will discuss anyhow about security groups. This is very simple concept. And here VPC, you select the default. Inbound rule is there. Here you select all TCP 0 to 65,535 and all 0.0.0 means you are allowing traffic from anywhere in the world. So that is what this means. And outbound, keep it same. Okay, don't delete it. This is mandatory. And just create the security group. Okay, so you created allow all security group. This is the firewall. You are saying to the Linux server, you are going to say allow all the traffic from anywhere in the internet. So this is what it means. And you come to the instances here. You click on launch instance. Okay, name it as something like any you can name it as you wish. I'm just naming it as Linux server. Okay. Operating system, you choose AWS Linux 2, because as I said, this is same as RHCL or CentOS 8. So we are going to use CentOS 8 and then AWS Linux 2 throughout our training. Okay. So don't change anything else. T2.micro, free tier eligible. Okay. So if you use this, you will not be charged. You will not even be charged with single rupee. It is completely free. But if you go for any other, it is not free. Only one CPU, 1 GB RAM is only free here. And key pair. So before this, let us just create key pair also. Click on key pair. Action, import key pair. I'm naming it as DevOps. So what I said, you need to give the public key. You can check here. Public key only you should give. You should not give private key. Just copy your public key and keep it. Should not have a new line like this. So as I said, you are keeping the public key inside the server. Okay. Import key pair. That's it. Now you come back here, just refresh. We'll have this DevOps. So you are attaching the public key to the server, and network, just keep it same and select existing security group, select allow all. Okay. And you can keep the storage. So now what I said in the beginning of the session, so you should have some OS. What is the OS we selected here? AWS Linux 2 and RAM. So by default, the free tier has 1 GB RAM and 1 core CPU. Hard disk is 8 GB. Okay. And you selected the allow all security group and you selected the storage as well. Then click on launch instance. That's it. So you will have your server ready. Okay, we'll understand in further sessions what are all these details. And if you click this instance, so within minutes, your server got created. And we need to wait for 1 to 5 minutes. So it will be coming into running stage. Okay. Now it's in running stage. You have your IP address. So this is the IP address. So create security group and then create import key pair. Import public key. And then finally create server. So what we did here, choose AWS Linux 2. Choose allow all security group. Okay, so that's it. So now we got our IP address. Now what is the syntax to connect to the server? SSH, you have to give your protocol -I. Where is your private key? Private key path. Okay. And then your username @ IP address. Okay. So now let us write our command SSH-I. So we have our devops.pem here. So that is devops.pem. Username, AWS Linux 2 username by default is ec2-user @. This is the IP address. Okay. So generally, when you log in like this in Git bash, you will be by default in your user directory. See users Sivakumar generally if you have the name to your laptop. So you can give SSH-I. You can give the full path /c users, your username of your laptop, devops.pem, EC2 Linux. So AWS Linux username is ec2-user @IP address. So what is the IP address? This one. Just give S. So now you are inside the Linux server. Okay. So when it is $, it is normal user. So now let us understand how the connection happened from laptop to somewhere in Mumbai. So this is the server. Okay, it is in Mumbai, and you have your laptop. This is somewhere in Andhra Pradesh. Okay. So here there is some firewall. This is firewall. This is attached to the EC2 server. Okay. But what we said through the firewall, allow all ports from all devices. So that is why we gave it as 0.0.0. So when you are making a connection, you are just giving, you are passing the private key, username, IP address, port number. So you are passing all these details. First, it will hit the firewall. Then obviously it is allowing everyone. From here, the connection is passed and then it reached the EC2 server. So it has public key here. So you are opening this public key with your private key, just like your physical box. Okay, so this is how the connection is happening. So in DevOps, we use the servers more. So then at every point of time, you need to check whether the firewall is allowing or not. If it is not allowing, then obviously your connection is failure. This is the most of the times we face this error. One server is not able to connect to the another server. For example, Jenkins is not able to connect to the Linux server. Jenkins is not able to connect to the Ansible server. So what is the issue? So this is how you face the challenges, network connections. Other side system is not, other side server is not allowing you because of the firewall, mostly. Okay. So we logged into the Linux server. Now let us understand few Linux commands. Okay. The first command pwd is like present working directory. So whenever you log into the Linux, by default, you will log into your home directory. So here in Windows, what is your home directory? It is C, users and username. In Linux, your home directory is /home and the username. The username I used is EC2 user. So by default, I'm here. Okay. Hash means root user. Okay. If you give sudo su hyphen, you will be inside, you will get the administrator access. Just like your Windows laptops, we are not the administrators in our office. So we are the normal user. Whenever you install some package, then you need to raise a ticket, then administrators will get the administrator access, then they will install. Similarly, in Linux server also, by default, when you log in, you will have the normal user access, that is dollar. Asterisk means administrator. So by default, inside your root directory. If you just get exit, then you will be again into the normal user. Okay. So pwd is present working directory. So in Linux, everything is a command, everything is a text. There is no graphics, there is nothing. Everything is a text. That is why the processing is very fast. So the syntax of Linux command is command name, and you will have some options and some inputs. Options and inputs both are optional. Okay, if you see here, what is the command name here? pwd. So you are telling what is my present working directory to the Linux. It is giving you the output. So you are in home EC2 user. So I'm not passing any options. I'm not passing any inputs here because these two are optional. So inputs, you need to definitely pass inputs few of the commands. We will just check in this session itself, but basic syntax is always this one. And these command names are also very, very easy to remember. You don't need to by heart. You don't need to break your head to understand what it is. Okay. If you type pwd -h is nothing but help. Okay. -help. Okay. So there is no help in this. Now let us see uname. If you give uname, it will tell you what is the kernel you are using. Okay. Uname. What is the kernel name? Okay. So kernel is obviously Linux. So as I said, we will have some options. Uname, if you type help, you will get all the options available. So what it is saying, so their options are like, if you give hyphen, this is single character. But same you can give double hyphen word. Okay. So now let us see. Uname hyphen a, if you type, what it is saying, print all the information in the following order. Okay, so that is kernel name, what is the node name, what is the release version, what is the architecture, and when you started this, when this one is started, this version, and you will get everything, all information. Okay, uname hyphen a or uname hyphen, all both are same. You can use single character with single hyphen, a word with double hyphen. Okay, if you type uname hyphen yes, you will get the kernel. Uname hyphen r, you will get the release version. What is the version of this OS? So you don't need to remember all these options. Whenever you want, you just press uname hyphen h. Sorry, uname hyphen help. There is no hyphen h here. Your commands will have definitely. So uname hyphen help. Okay. So you can see the clear documentation. That is one thing, like command name, and you can always give help. So even I don't know what are the options available. Whenever I want to see the options, I will go for help. Or you can just give man uname. So this is nothing but manual. Manual is complete manual of the command. Man uname. So you'll get full information just like a web page. Just go down. If you want to come out of it, just press Q to quit. Okay, that's it. So when you want some help, either press like this, give like this, command name hyphen help, or man name. Okay. So this is about these basics of the commands. Now, if you press up arrow in your keyboard, you will get the previous commands you used. Okay. Up arrow and down arrow, you will get the previous commands you used, like history. Okay. Up arrow will give you history. So even you can give a command of history here. Okay, you will see what are the commands you used from the time you log into the server. Okay. So now let us discuss the further commands. So the first command we discuss here is ls. ls means list files and directories. Okay. So here, this is nothing but when you open a folder like this, so it is listing the complete files and folders here. Similarly, in Linux also, if you just press ls, you will get all the files and folders. There is nothing here. Let us go to cd slash. Slash is the your system directory, just like in your Windows, when you click this PC, and here you will get all the files and folders, right? If you go here, generally you will get disk D, E, and F. So that is the root. Generally, we call it as the base location. So if you want to go to base location, just press cd slash. Okay, it is showing here. Where are you? Now, if you give ls, so this is how it will list down everything. Okay. But as I said, you have some options here. Just if you type ls-help, then you will get a lot of options. So now let us discuss the popular options here. If you give clear, your screen will be cleared at any point of time. ls-l. L means lengthy format. So you will get who wants this, everything we will discuss. You will get what is the date, what is the time, everything you will get in a lengthy format. -L means lengthy format. So you can see here there are some colors. If it is D, it means it is directory. Okay. What is L? All these things we will discuss. If you want to go inside any of this folder, for example, cd opt, you need to give cd means change directory. So I am here. I want to go to opt. So you need to give cd space opt. Just give O and then tab. By default, it will give you the give you that, because there is no other folder with O. So if you just give O and then tab, it will be automatically fulfilled. Okay. But if you give yes -tab, it will not work because there are multiple folders with name S. Now, if I give SB, it will be automatically displayed because there is only one folder with SBin. Okay. So let's go inside opt, cd opt. So you are in pwd slash base location slash opt. If you want to come back, cd space 2 dots, you will come back. Okay. So at any point of time, if you want to go to your home directory, just give cd and enter. You will be inside your home directory. Okay. So now let me go to base location and opt. Base location is slash opt. Okay. Clear the screen. Come back one step. ls-l will give you the lengthy format. Now, if you see, it is in alphabetical order, bin, boot, D, E, like this, alphabetical order. So if you want reverse, ls-lr, R means reverse. You can see it will be displayed exactly reverse. So just like in your Windows, you have the sorting option, right? You have the sorting option here based on the date, based on the type, based on the name. So similarly here also you have the sorting option, ls-l, so alphabetical order, and -r, it will give you the reverse order. If you give ls-lt based on the time, okay, you can see this. Now if you give ls-ltr, it is reverse from ascending order. Okay, it is like old date to the latest date. So earlier it is latest to the old. if you give R, old date to the latest date. Okay. So this is how you list the files and folders, ls-ltr. Okay, let's go inside opt and then ls-l. You will get this ls-ltr. Also, you can use anyhow you want. Okay, let us go inside cd aws ls-ltr. Let's go inside bin ls-ltr. Okay. If it is hyphen, this is a file. Okay. Always remember D for directory, hyphen for file. Okay. So now where are you? Opt AWS bin. Let's go to the home folder, cd. Here, just enter pwd, you can see. So this is how you use Linux command. And there is something called ls-la. So it will give you the hidden files and folders. So in operating system, if any file or folder name starts with dot, it is hidden. You can see here in Windows also, generally, this is hidden folder, .aws, .ssh. Just like in Windows also here, you will have .ssh and then this is hidden file. This is hidden folder. As I said, file name starts with hyphen, that is file. So ls-la will give you hidden. So let us just write down this ls list files and directories ls-l. So once you practice all these commands, then you'll automatically do it with more confidence. Lengthy format ls-l or reverse alphabetical and ls-ltr reverse time order ls-la, that is nothing but list including hidden files and folders. So this is about the ls command mostly we use in our projects. So basically when you are learning anything that is like CRUD, create, read, update and delete. So now we have understood read, how you can read the files and folders. Okay, how you at least you can list down. Now let us understand create. Okay, how to create file. That is nothing but a simple command touch. So generally here you need to create a file, click right folder and then new file or folder you will create like this. But here it is a single command, that is just touch. You give something like example.txt. Your file is created. How can you see? ls-l. Okay, you have your file created. Okay, how can you enter text into that file? Or if you want to, how can you create directory? Can you create directory or folder? That is mkdir. It is nothing but make directory. This mk is like a shortcut word for chatting. Okay, mkdir, some example folder I'm creating. Now if you list ls-l, so this is starting with D, it means it is folder. This is starting with hyphen, it means it is file. Okay, so how can you enter the text to that file? Okay, so generally cat hyphen example.txt. Okay, so this is greater than symbol, sorry, greater than symbol. If you just give like this, so you'll get a cursor. Hi, this is is sample text. Okay, so you're giving text like this, give enter, control D, then you enter the text inside that file. Okay, now how you print it is like cat example dot text. So this is for reading, this is for entering the text. Cat hyphen file name. Okay, you will get the cursor, enter text here. Once it is over, again enter plus control D. It will exit. Okay, if you want to just read the content, cat space file name. Okay, how can you remove? Just rm example dot text. Okay, rm file name. Removes the file. Okay, now let us remove the directory rm example. So it is saying this is a directory, you cannot use rm command. You have to use rm directory example. Now it is removed. Okay, ls-l, nothing here. So let us create the directory again. Let us create the file again. So in Linux, extensions doesn't matter. Okay, dot text dot, you can have any extension, but everything inside this is text only. So let us go inside the directory, cd example. Okay, here you create some sample dot text. Come back. Now list down again. Try to remove the directory. So you cannot, because rmdir only removes empty directory. Okay, so it has, if it has some files inside, it cannot delete it. So in that case, you can just give rm, okay, and hyphen r example. Hyphen r is a recursive. So you are telling remove command. Recursive is nothing but inside. So inside example, we have another file. Just remove that. Remove everything. Okay, now you can see it is gone. Rm hyphen r is always for recursive. Recursive is nothing but inside as well. Okay, so that is about removing. Now again, I am creating example directory or ls-l. So now there is something called absolute and relative path. Absolute path and relative path. So you can go to the example directory in two ways. So you can enter the full path, cd/home/ec2 user example. So this is the absolute path. It is nothing but full path. What is the relative path? You are already here. You are already in this. Right. Let me go back. So you are already in this directory. No need to give from the scratch again. You can just directly give cd example. So this is the relative path. Okay. So you can use any way. You can use absolute, you can use relative, but we feel relative is obviously easy because we are already inside that half of the directory. Okay. So this is about listing the files, creating the files, creating directory, entering the text, Control D to exit, open the file. It is like just cat example.txt, removing absolute path and relative path. So now let us create one more. Cat example1.txt. You just give cat greater than symbol. It will, you don't need to use touch command. It will directly create the file in the background. It will open. So this is another sample file. Okay, and enter Control D. Cat example1.txt. You can see this. Okay. Now, if you give again cat example1.txt, this is one more sample line. You are just giving like this. Enter Control D. Now print it. What it is there? The previous content is gone. So if you give just one greater than symbol, okay, removes the old content and enter new content. So that is if you use only one greater than symbol. If you use two greater than symbol, it will always append to the old content. Okay, so now I want to append cat two greater than symbols example1.text. I am appending extra content here. Control D. Now you print it. Your content is appended. So remember this. One greater than symbol, it will remove the old content. Two greater than symbol, it will not remove, it will append. Okay. Yeah. So this is about cat command generally. And let us discuss something called copy command. Yeah. Now, if you want to copy this file into this directory, so what you do, you will just click here, Control C, and then you will go inside and you will do Control V. So that is the copy. So it means copy command needs source, which file you are copying, destination, where you want to copy. Okay. So as I said, some commands, they need inputs also. This copy command needs input. Otherwise, it cannot understand what to copy, where to copy. So now if you just give CP, it will give you error because this command must need input. CP -- help. It has a lot of options, but anyhow, let us discuss how to copy this example.text into this example directory. CP, which file you want to copy? Example.text. Where you want to copy? I want to copy inside example folder. Okay. So now you just go inside example folder and check you have copied your file. Okay. So I want to cut this. I want to cut. You know how to cut. Generally, you will press Control X. So if you want to cut here, that is nothing but move. Move example one dot text into the example folder. Okay, this is cut here and it is copied inside. Okay, come one step back again. So now I will create another directory, that is sample, going inside this and then creating sample dot text here. Sorry, it is cat greater than, because file does not exist. This is the sample file inside sample directory. Enter, Control D. Okay, come one step back. So you have ls-l. So I want to copy this entire folder into this example. Okay, so just copy sample and example. So you are getting an error omitting directory sample. Why? Because so it has lot of files inside sample directory. It has some files. If you want to copy entire directory, you need to give an option -r. It is recursive sample and example. So as I said, -r. So you need to tell the Linux cp command -r recursive, copy everything inside this. Now you go inside example directory. You have your sample directory also exist. So this recursive -r option we use frequently. Okay. Now if I want to rename this example.text, okay, rename also same command, move example.text and then example -rename.text. Okay. So you can understand, see, right? In Windows, you need to, it is lot of steps. You need to click this file and Control C, and you need to go inside some destination. You need to press Control V. But here it is a single command. It can do everything in the background. So that is how Linux is very fast. So we discussed how to create the files using touch and cat command, how to read the files using cat command, and then how to update. Update is nothing but moving, renaming, and then copying and delete. You know how to delete the file also. Okay. rm example rename.text, it will be deleted. So we can stop till here today. So we learned a lot. So we learned, so what are the operating system basics, and then we understood the distributions. Many persons call Linux as operating system, but it's fine. Even we call Linux as operating system, but we know Linux is a kernel. On top of kernel, many companies are developing the shell and utilities and releasing them as their own distributions or Linux flavors. So we discussed SSH private key and public key mechanism. This mechanism is going to be used in many places, not only here. It is used in GitHub authentication, many places. This is a like universal mechanism, universal authentication mechanism. And we understood SSH protocol, and we created a server. Sorry, you created a security group, and then you imported public key, you created the server, and you logged into the server using SSH command line. And we learned some basic commands: ls, cat, remove, copy, move, rename. So this absolute and relative path is also very important while you are working with Linux. You should know where you are. Okay. So we can stop till here today. So if you have any questions related to today's topic, you can ask. So from tomorrow, we can open the Q&A sessions at the evening time. So as I said, 3 days Q&A session, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. In the Q&A sessions, you can ask any topic, but in the live session, just please be restricted to the current discussed topic. Otherwise, we will deviate from the actual content. Yes, Rahul, you have some question? V. Rajashekhar. Satish Kumar Chillapalli. You can unmute and then ask.
As you said, history will come. How many days history it will come? And all in that server, suppose we have 2-3 users is there means you will get the all user histories.
No, that is secure. You will get only your history for that specific login.
How many days history it will come?
So for example, if I'm giving history, so 133 commands today I used from the starting. Okay. But if I exit and then log in again, if you type history, so this is for your only, for yourself, not for others. Maybe if you log into this, you should not see others' history. That is the security issue. And it always has some limitation. You can always check a lot of options here. There is no help option for this. Yeah, so obviously, generally it is your history, not other.
Yeah, suppose I worked on 1 week means is that count is going to thousands now. So I will get all thousands.
There is a limitation. Okay, even I don't know how much it will give us.
Okay.
History limitation in Linux. So there is a definitely limitation.
Okay.
It's not very much important. Also, we know what we are doing.
Okay.
So you need to set it.
Suppose you forgot anything command means you will get it back or not. That's the case.
No. So once you started using the Linux server,
okay,
generally you don't remember it through the history. If you want anything, you can just search it. You can have some user setting here. So inside bash history, you can see here in our server. So they are clearly saying there is some setting. Bash history, cat bash history. So there is a setting you can make. This is the way, this is where your history is getting stored, but it always have some setting, either size. If you just type this echo hist size, it will tell you how much history size you will have. Will have 1000 commands. You can increase this. So what it is saying, by default it will store 1000 latest comments.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, V. Rajashekhar, you can unmute and then ask. Siva Prasad.
Good morning, Shiva.
Good morning.
If we have many users like 100 or something, so how about the passing the keys, copying the keys, private and public keys?
So every user has their own key.
Okay. So private key should be same or it would be different, right?
So you can always restrict the user. You can multi-users. Definitely Linux is a multi-user, but Windows is not a multi-user laptop, right? At a time, 2-3 persons cannot use, but Linux is a multi-user operating system. That is the greatest advantage. So you can give, for example, if you are working in a DevOps team, we can create a key, DevOps key, and we can share it to all the DevOps guys. Or if you want separate key for everyone, you can create a key on their name and you can share to them. So there will be always a restriction at the group level. So you are the person, Shiva Prasad joined a DevOps team. So there will be a DevOps group and you will be added to the DevOps group and permissions will be given to the group. So if you see here, I logged in. So I am in EC2 user. Just go to your SSH directory. Here your public key will be there. Cat authorized keys. And so this is my system public key. Okay, so don't worry about it. So we will discuss how to create users, how to create groups, how to give access to users and group as part of user management system.
Thanks.
Most welcome. Praveen B. Dhananjaya.
Hi, Shiva.
Yeah, hi Dhananjaya.
So network concept also required for DevOps.
Yes, we will discuss basic networking concepts. Not very much in depth, but we
Okay.
need some basic networking concepts. We will discuss that.
Is there any limitation how much we need to learn? So entire we need to learn or basics is enough?
Networking, nobody can learn everything. So there will be a dedicated
means-
networking team. We will learn the basics more than basics.
Oh, thank you.
Surya.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. Hi, Siva. Good morning.
Good morning.
Actually, you created a system now. For
Hmm.
that, is there any charges for that? After completing the practice, we have to delete now. What type of
Yes.
resources we have to delete?
You delete this EC2 instance. Security groups are not chargeable. So which
Okay.
has some computation capacity. So you are consuming the AWS CPU, AWS RAM, right? So you will
Oh.
be charged. So in security group, it is not consuming anything.
Okay.
So you always delete
Yeah.
the server. Whenever you complete your practice, delete that instance.
If you delete the server, compute also delete, or it will.
No.
It's
No,
a
it did.
process now.
No, it's that's it. What you created today. We created key pair and we
Yeah.
created security group. Those are not chargeable
Okay.
because they don't have any OS. They don't have any RAM and CPU, right? So
Yeah.
this instance has RAM and CPU. This is charged. Just terminate it.
Okay.
Okay.
One more thing.
Yes.
Actually, I am a fresher, but how from basics to advanced level you will teach?
Yes.
Okay. And one more thing is like from how we are getting the work process also. From
Okay, so that is
Yeah.
that will be. I cannot explain how we are getting like this. So that we already discussed in last few sessions. We just go through them. So once you complete the course, then you will get full clarity. So at a single point of time, we cannot just discuss how we get the work, how we will do the work. All those things cannot be discussed at this stage.
Okay.
Yes, so definitely you will get more clarity while the sessions are going on.
Okay. Sure.
Thank you. Manoj Kumar.
Hi, Siva. Sorry, no doubts.
Yeah, thank you. Govind. Vishaka Devde. So you
Yeah,
can
good morning,
unmute.
Shiva. Am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yes, you are audible, Govind.
Yeah, thank you. Shiva, I have few doubts. Like you said, like the Q&A sessions will be from tomorrow onwards. So may I know the timings first? So
Yeah, so this first week, we can adjust the time maybe somewhere half an hour after 8:30 or 8:15.
Okay.
After 8:30, from 8:30 to 9 o'clock. So next week I
Okay.
will fix the timings. for the entire course.
Okay, that's great. And one more thing, like, see, it's like DevOps concepts, and you are probably covering this Linux basics, and then the Amazon Web Services basics, and then you will start with this DevOps, right? So, till what level you will cover these concepts like Linux, AWS,
The Linux
or
is, we are not going to be working as Linux administrators. So we will cover
okay,
intermediate level of Linux knowledge. So more than intermediate, I can say. So
okay,
AWS, as I said, I told multiple times, we will cover AWS Solution Architect Associate.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any prior knowledge or knowledge is required for this DevOps, or is it
No,
okay to come with like new? So
it's
like a
okay. If you
brand
are
new.
already working in IT, then it is fine. If you are not, then you need to spend more time and efforts.
Okay. Okay. So thank you. Thank you.
Hello, sir. This is Vishakha.
Yeah, hi,
Good
Vishal.
morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, to connect to the server, we are having a syntax like SSH minus and path of the private key, then username @IP. So
Yes.
how do we know that for a particular instance, like for EC2, the username is EC2-user. For
Hmm.
CentOS, there will be particular username. So how do we know this, sir?
So just they will tell us like AWS Linux. If you just see the documentation, they will tell you what is the username of the OS. So by default, CentOS username is CentOS.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. Devara Chandrasekhar. Uday K.
Yeah, hi Shiva. Just one question. So what are the whatever the changes we made, like create, read, update, and delete? So all of those changes were made on the EC2, the Linux server.
Yes, whatever you are doing here, you are inside the server. So this is not your laptop.
Okay.
You can clearly see this is the server. Okay. Abhilash.
Hi Shiva, good morning.
Yeah, hi, good morning.
As we are four as a team, so as I see that you have generated a keygen for my laptop to the server, but if my team want to access the same server, like there will be again generating a multiple keygens, and they have to upload those public keys into the server.
So usually whenever you join a company,
Okay.
so they will take your public key. For example, there is a Linux administration team or some admin team who is handling the user management for entire servers in the company. So they will take your key and they will add your key to the server. Then you can log in.
Okay, it's in this way. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you.
Most welcome. Srikanth.
Hi Shiva, this is Srikanth.
Yeah, hi Srikanth.
So Shiva, one question on the first on this subject, right? So, there are different teams, right? So DevOps, does it fall under the release management? If we are falling under the release management, are we responsible to take care of this tokens?
DevOps release management, generally there is a change management team, I can say. So they will coordinate the production release. So this,
Okay.
whoever is the owner of the server. So you maybe DevOps team has some ownership of the servers. So definitely everything is in your control. Maybe your team leader has the administrator access and some of the senior members have the administrator access. Remaining guys, they have the limited access. So how to control the access, everything we can discuss in the user management system. No need to worry about at this stage now. Okay, first we will understand few basic comments, then we will go into the user management.
I'm just trying to understand the role. So we will have a separate administrative team, right? Or is DevOps also integral part of that administration, network administration?
No, so generally there will be a separate teams, but they will have, you will have your own handover. For example, you have your own ownership of the servers. Few servers are shared across the teams. So if the servers are shared across the team, so definitely there will be a different administrator team. So they will be managing the access. If this server is completely owned by DevOps team, then you are the responsible for everything. You are the admin.
All right, got it. Thanks, Shiva. And Shiva, one more question for tomorrow onwards, right? So will we be receiving the link or?
Yeah. So the same link, but I'll mention the timing. I will send a message to you guys. And tomorrow session, I will also mention. Okay, when is the doubt session tomorrow?
Okay, and for the payment and the account details, will
Yeah,
you
we
be
will. We will also send that.
All right, thanks.
So don't worry about payment in next few days. Okay, so let us start this session successfully. And Slack, maybe this weekend we will create the Slack discussion and we will add the users. And from tomorrow, doubt session. Okay, thank you so much. Srinivas Rao K. Vamsi. If you have no doubts, you can leave the session.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is my first class. I joined just now. Just wanted to have a quick query. Regarding the content that you would like to share with us. Is it related to all the? So I just went through your blog. So does this session cover all your low-level syllabus that you have mentioned in the web?
Yes.
So all Jenkins, Git, Terraform, AWS, Shell, Python.
Yes.
Okay. So it covers near to 3 to 4 months, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Fine. So that's my query. That's fine.
Yeah, most welcome. So in today's session, you will again find this in the same playlist. This is the playlist. Okay. So this is the playlist. Everyday recording will be uploaded into the same link. A new video will be added. That's it. But the link is same. You can just bookmark this. Okay, just bookmark this link. Within 2 hours, the session will be automatically uploaded. You no need to wait for the recording again because this is the playlist. Automatically, it will be uploaded. Next, Sudhir Reddy, yes, you have some question.
Shiva, this links only you provide our side and YouTube channel also.
No, this link you should have it. This playlist link. I'm sending already daily.
Okay, everyone
just bookmark this. Just bookmark like this.
Okay.
Okay, so you will get the session into the same link.
Other persons don't use, right?
What?
Can see, correct?
Sorry, once again.
Any other person, YouTube user, anyone watch your videos or only our members?
First 1 week, these are public. Whoever has the link, they can watch. From next week, these are going to be completely private.
Okay. One more, all DevOps concept, Kubernetes, everything is covered, right? Briefly?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So they ready?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, while applying for interviews, we need to explain projects.
Okay, so you just watched the demo session of yesterday. So we discussed this point.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Sharon B.
Yeah, sorry. Hi, Siva.
Hi, Sharon.
My question is, after every session, would you be, do you have any plan sending assignments based on complexity level or something like that?
Yes, in a Slack channel from next week onwards, I will send the simple tasks and assignments. Parallelly, I will be writing some blogs also. Just watch whenever I do something from my side. So I will update it in the Slack channel. and you just do it as a task and assignment also. I will definitely give some simple tasks and assignments.
Okay.
I will start from simple and I'll go to the complex level by end of the course.
Okay, thank you.